That beat going crazy.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and this is a quick video. So first on this bike series, basically I've been quite excited about this bike, and over the weekend or Saturday I think I did a little bit of work on the bike. I was just itching, and I actually didn't do any filming. I wanted to just go through the bike and have a look through the bike and then see what issues I was coming up with, and then I kind of just dived into a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff that I did I'm probably going to be doing again anyway. But right now I just wanted to make sure the bike is sort of MOT worthy. I want to get it through an MOT because I also want to ride the bike. So I sort of wanted to just just make sure that everything was all right. So there's a couple of things that I've done now which I'm going to do again. Like I did an oil change, I'm going to do an oil change again, so hopefully I'll document that the next time that I do it. But I want to quickly show you guys what I did and what issues I'm coming up with the bike. Some of these things I'm going to need some help with. I can't really find answers, I'm struggling. So maybe some of you might be able to help out with it. I know Tom is on the channel who's doing ZX7 as well, so check out his channel. I've been watching his videos before I bought this bike, and I'm going to be watching them now even more to try and help me with my project. So I'm not going to go to the extent that Tom's done on his bike. So for me, this is going to be sort of more a cosmetic restoration and sort of light restoration, if you want to call it, because I don't think it requires such a in-depth restoration. So but maybe in the future I'll take it apart and do that. But anyway, let's quickly have a look at the bike. So here we have it. Here is the bike. One thing I'm really happy about was when I picked up the bike, the guy had these two paddock stands and he gave them to me, and I was not expecting that. So this is really helpful, even with diagnosing some of the issues. So you can see I've got it up on the stands. I got that on for a reason, because I believe I'm having some issues with the clutch. It might not be the clutch now, I might have sorted it out. But basically what was happening was I believe the clutch was sticking. So when I did get the bike running, which I'll tell you about in a bit, I had it on the ground, and I'll put it into first gear, and it would just jump forward as if the clutch is not disengaging properly, and it would stall. So what I ended up doing, even when I put it on the stands, I would get it in to neutral, start the bike, put it in first gear, and it would stall as if something was sort of holding the bike back, or as if it didn't have the power to turn the wheels, or something was sticking. Now, this bike's been sitting for over a year in the garage. Did some research. One of the issues that happens with these is the clutches can get very sticky. Clutches on the other side, because all the oil drains away from the clutches. The clutches are in here. So I ended up also, this is another question somebody might know. So the oil here, if you guys look here, you can see it's actually over the maximum line. The maximum line's here and the minimum's here. Now when I'm running the bike, it goes right down to the minimum. As soon as I shut it off, it fills back up. So I think now I've put in a bit too much oil. So I think it's just over the maximum. So it really does move a lot. And I'm just concerned that when it's running, that it's right down here. If that's okay, maybe I need to drop some out now because it's a bit over. So that's another thing I need to figure out. Hopefully that's not an issue. The engine itself sounds like it's running good. When I did the first video, we heard this knocking, rattling sound. I think that was pre-ignition, I think it's called. Just bad gas. I cleared all the gas out. I put in some new premium. And also I took the carbs off. The pilot jets definitely needed cleaning out. Some of them were blocked. I cleaned them all out. I cleaned all the main jets out. Cleaned the bowls out as much as I could from just without taking the carbs apart. Put them all back together. The bike is running sweet now. So none more of that noise that I was hearing, that knocking noise. And as I said, it's got the good fuel in there. I changed the fuel holes because I noticed the fuel holes was degrading. It kept on splitting. So I replaced it with brand new fuel holes. I had some there, so that's sorted out. So now with the clutch, coming back to the clutch, I took all the plates out. I cleaned them all up. I let them soak overnight in some oil as well, so that they could just soak up some oil, because obviously they were quite dry. And it seems that the clutch is now engaging again. Although when I do have it running on the stand and the bike's running, when it's in is it engaging? I can't remember now. No, I think it's actually okay now. Actually, put it in first gear, the wheel turns at slow speed. Now I feel like there's something notchy, like something is not fully freed up. Even when I give it some throttle, it's spinning, but I feel a little vibration in the bike, as if something is not turning right. I'm not sure if it's a sprocket, a front sprocket, if it's something to do with the gearbox. I'm not sure. I think maybe if the bike gets ridden, things will loosen up again. Maybe there's a little bit of light corrosion somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Doesn't seem to be the bearings, because the wheels spin quite well. They don't seem notchy or anything. Actually, it's in first gear. Let's pop it into neutral. So again, guys, this video is for some advice and some help. So I mean, that's the brakes. I'm sure it's not the brakes that's binding, unless it could be. But when I push the bike, it doesn't seem difficult to push. So could be maybe a warped brake disc. Oh wow, the brake disc is in really bad condition. I've never noticed that. The brakes are really worn out in the middle, and there's a lot of lippage here. You guys might be able to see it. They're really bad, so these need to be changed ASAP. The brakes pads are quite low anyway, so I need a rear brake overhaul. So I'm wondering if this notchiness is the brakes binding, or if a warped disc. So maybe what I'll do is, if I take the brakes off, I'll see if I'm still getting that resistance or that notchiness. I mean, the bearings itself seem fine. I don't feel any play, anything. So now I've got this to look into. What I might do is drain the fluid and open these brakes out and see if I'm still getting that notchiness when I try to accelerate the bike. But I can just see sort of notchy vibration. But I'm going to show you guys. There's another issue I've got. This key's a bit dodgy, but I need to sort that out. So also, I think this is working better now. The clutch switch for ignition, it was sort of like you had to have it in slightly. I think since I've been playing with it, it's just sort of freed itself up. Now, I'm not sure if this cluster is working properly. When I turn the ignition on, it starts at 2. I'm assuming it should be at 0. And when I start the bike, it idles at about just over 3, which to me is just over 1,000 RPMs. It's supposed to be about 1300. So it seems like this is 0 here and 3 is 1,000 RPMs. So it's like it's starting up higher. I've read on some forums, some people have had this issue. Someone's just banged it and it's worked. Somebody say it could be a contact, it could be a ground. So I'm thinking there's something here. I think it's probably going to be a ground, just off guessing, because the temperature also seems to start right in the middle as well. I'd assume that would have started at 0 when it's cold. So it's like maybe it's a resistance is too high or something, or too low, and it's causing this to sort of start up higher than it should. So maybe somebody has some ideas with that. There's something else I need to get sorted out. I did do coolant as well, topped up the coolant, checked it all, and that seems fine. Front brakes work fine as well. Got good front brakes. The back brakes actually work quite fine as well, even though they need replacing. Fluid's okay, so I'm going to be doing that. Battery's fine as well. Yeah, I mean, everything seems to work fine. The bike does need a really good clean, so as soon as I get this issue sorted out, first thing I'm going to be doing is giving this a good clean up. And then the plan for the body now is definitely going to either paint it, or I might even consider doing a wrap at the moment. So that's one of the options, is to give it a wrap for now. I took these off. This is just silicone, so these are really good condition. I just need to clean them up, clean off this silicone, which I can do with a silicone remover. Everything else is just okay, really. The exhaust, the bike sounds really nice when you rev it, really nice. But I do think I'm going to change this because it's just really big and chunky and looks a bit ugly. So you can see here is where they done the poor welding job from the stainless steel to the steel here. So this is a Muzzy manifold, stainless steel, and I plan to eventually get this stainless steel exhaust welded on something nice, maybe Acropovic or something, I'm not sure, something nice. The fan seems to work fine as well. Again, things are a bit greasy, so I need to clean up the engine in place just to see if we've got any oil leaks and so on. I wouldn't be surprised if we had any. So yeah, you can see it's quite dirty and caked up and greasy down here. Well, this could be oil leaks over the years that have been sorted out, or it could be a new oil leak. So yeah, so I'm going to start up the bike. Let me just show you guys. I do need to use two hands to do this, so give me a second. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but you see where our tack is? So that's about 3,300. So I believe that is 1,300 RPMs, and it sounds right. It sounds like it's idling right. So I think this is to do with that tack. But yeah, this is the bike. You guys can hear it. It sounds good. All the cylinders sound like they're firing. All the cylinders are nice and warm, which is good. The tack does work. Alright, I think, guys, I actually run out of fuel. I think so, because I only put a little bit in there and it was on the reserve, so the bike's just not starting. So I think it was on reserve, and I think the fuel's run out, so let's hope so and it's not an issue. Alright, let's try and start again. Let's get the choke on. There we go. So it was a fuel issue, it seems. Right, because when I revved it, it felt like it lacked power. So let's let that fuel get through it. There we go. Alright, so I'll show you guys what I've been saying about this. I'm going to put it into first gear and I'll show you guys what I mean. So you can see it in first gear. Although I am starting to think it could be this brake binding. You can see the bike rocking. So what it seems like to me, it feels like something's holding the bike back, and I'm really starting to think whether it's these brakes, that, and if this is warped, and if it's just like going like this, and maybe it just keeps hitting the brake, because it seems like the bike's rocking a bit like that. Because I mean, as I said, the bike seems smooth, the engine seems like it's got the power. It sounds like it's got the power anyway. The gearbox, I think, seems fine, because when I had the clutch off, I could spin it in gear and it was very smooth. I checked for notchiness, everything seemed smooth. It just seems like when I put it under load and off the stand, I try to give it some gas, it feels like as if something's like as if you were giving it gas but you kept on holding the brake. That's what it feels like. I'm hoping that this is what the issue is, so later on when I get a chance, I'm going to disconnect these back brakes and see if that solves it. But if anybody's got any ideas, I'm really open to figuring them out. But I think, guys, that's pretty much it. If once I get this issue sorted out and I clean the bike up, I think I'm going to try and get it in for an MOT, and then maybe just give it a little ride and hopefully get the little niggling bits out, since it hasn't been moving for so long. And then we can start really going through the bike bit by bit, which is how I'm going to tackle this one, bit by bit, and sort of cleaning stuff up and restoring stuff. The wheels are going to need doing. You guys can see the paint flaking here, so I'm definitely going to get the wheels powder coated, front and back. Probably just go for the black again. But yeah, excited about this one. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Give me an advice if you've got any mechanics out there. And hopefully see you guys on the next one. So take care. Thanks for watching. Going crazy.